So we're starting Windows 7 from this dual boot operating system laptop. And once we're done here, we're going to boot up Windows 8, showing that both sides of both operating systems work, and also the backup drive. That runs this entire operation in the background. So here we have the standard Windows desktop, as you can see. First, let's look at the system specs. Just going to system properties right there, and you can see we have 5 gigs of memory, 64-bit operating system, 2.4 gigahertz Core 2 Duo processor, and let's get out of that. Over here we got 3 drives. We've got a Windows 7, Windows 8, and we also have a local disk E. I'll get into these later, but for now you can see that we have 3 drives. First one is 100 gigs, second one is 100 gigs, third one is another 100 gigs, so we have a 300 gig hard drive that we're working with. Let's close this out. Over here we have our programs, so let's just pop a couple of them open and just use Word and Excel just to show you that these are both working and activated, so you don't get any trial version of software with this laptop. They're all working 100%. As you can see, product activated. Let's close that. Excel, same thing. Pretty smooth, pretty fast. Over here we have TeamViewer, which if you have a TeamViewer account, you can log into it and remote manage the PC or laptop rather, or you could simply just remove that program if you have no use for it. Over here we have Adobe Acrobat X as well. If you do a lot of documenting work, creating forms, and so forth, this comes in really handy. Google Chrome, standard browser. I can check the internet here again. Comes up fairly quickly. If we do MSN.com, you can see here that it works. Alright. Next we have excuse me, Zone Alarm, which is a free antivirus and firewall, so you don't have to worry about paying for it. Just install that for you. This is a screensaver. I'll get into that last. This is a YouTube downloader, so if you see videos or whatever on YouTube that you want to grab, you simply copy the URL, paste it in here, and it will download that video, audio, or whatever for you. Here's Nero 2015 version. Comes on a CD that I had laying around. And here we have Dreamweaver CS6, which is typically for web developers, but I guess other professions use this software as well. So you can use it to build web pages, HTML files, and so forth, PHP scripts, blah blah blah. Adobe Illustrator. This is a graphics tool, usually for, I guess, animators or whoever else that likes to draw with and mess with digital graphics. And also a lot of templates like certificates and so forth gets made in Adobe Illustrator. Alrighty. Adobe Photoshop CC, and again, these are all fully functional, so you won't have any limitation on these. So there you have it. Only essential software is loaded, no junk, no background crap. Here is a screensaver which I thought was pretty cool, so I just dropped it on there as a bonus. It's a scrolling screensaver, so it's almost like you're watching the underwater world of fishes, crabs, and all kinds of other little river or sea creatures, and they seem to interact with the environment pretty well. I was pretty impressed, so I included it as a bonus. Now, to quit out of this, you can either press enter, actually press escape, and it pops out of there, and it will always prompt you that there is no updates or unable to check for updates. Hit OK. Now over here we have documents. You can see there's excuse me, see there's nothing in there, but if we go over here to computer, remember those 3 drives I was telling you about? Inside of here we have 2 folders. We have apps, which is going to be like some of the apps that I installed on the computer, not all of them, but some of them, and the other folder is called the data folder. And inside of here we have a Windows 7 and a Windows 8 folder. Let's see if I can zoom in for you. Do a little bit of focusing. There we go. Let's bring this up a little bit. Tripod is a little bit old, but you'll get the drift. Alrighty, got a good. There we go. So we got a Windows 7 and a Windows 8 folder, and this is actually where all of your files are stored. So if you save something in your downloads folder, your desktop, your documents folder, or your music or video folder, all of these automatically gets saved to this local disk E drive. And the reason for that is because this is an automatic backup drive. So you have one hard drive, which is basically 300 gigabytes split into 3, so you have one partition stores your Windows 7 installation, the second partition holds your Windows 8 partition or installation, and the third partition is your backup or your drive, your data drive partition, which stores all of your data. In addition to this, there is a system backup folder which is hidden right now. So just to eliminate accidental deletions, I will navigate to it for you and show you. Right here, if you do system backup, enter, you can see there's a backup image that's 27 gigabytes, and go back, you can't see the folder or the contents. So it's just a simple, precaution, security precautions. So in case someone goes in there, tries to delete all your files or whatever, you'll still at least have your backup to restore the computer the way it is right now. So inside this data folder, in the Windows 7 you have Dell, and under here you have all the folders that will normally show up in a regular C drive on a Windows system. So of course, if you go into downloads here, you'll see the 2 downloads that I got from the internet there, and so forth. And it's the same thing for Windows 8. It has the same folders for that profile, and that's your backup. So if you ever get a virus, you don't have to worry about, oh my god, am I going to lose my data if I wipe the drive or if I restore or whatever. Now, that being said, there is a CD-ROM. Let's see if I can get it over here. Yeah. So anyways, it says Acronis boot disk, and I'll show you a little bit of that once we reboot the system and finish with Windows 8. But basically, you can use that boot CD to restore the computer to the way it is right now. So if you ever screw something up, you wouldn't have to worry about losing your data or losing your programs or whatever. Whatever happens, you could actually restore it back by using this boot disk. So now that we've seen Windows 7, let's go to Windows 8. So I'm going to shut down, and actually go to here and hit restart, and booyah, shutting down. So as you can see, the computer is actually pretty fast. No junk on there. I've actually went in and also cleaned up the temporary folders, so you don't have any unnecessary programs or data laying around. So when the computer boots up, usually it's actually Windows 8 that gets booted. And if you go to Windows 7 from this screen, it actually sets a boot parameter so that when the computer restarts, it actually boots directly into Windows 7. But if I hit enter here, you can see there's no load time to get into Windows 8. So you just hit enter again, put in the password, and boom, we got Windows 8. Over here you can see the programs, and let's go to the desktop, and you can see it's pretty much the same programs that are on the Windows 7 side, except for the screensaver, which I forgot to install. But everything works the exact same way. If you open Microsoft Word, it comes up the same. It's a little bit of a different version, just to match up with the operating system. You got that there. Everything's fully functional. So yeah, it's just about the same. So I just opened Photoshop just to show you that it's also still working. Yeah. Okay, so now I will insert this boot disk. Let's close out of this, and let's go to settings and power and restart. I'll put this CD-ROM in here and show you what happens when you leave the CD-ROM inside the computer and you restart it. So this disk is made to be an automatic loader. So typically in boot disks you'll have the option like ticking across saying press any key to boot from disk or something like that. This disk actually boots itself. So after this first screen, you just pretty much hit enter and it starts loading up the Acronis software. Now it does take a little bit of time to boot from the CD because there's quite a bit of data that is loading. So you really just sit and wait until you get the main window that comes up, and from there you'll be able to either create a backup of your own, which you can do if you are savvy enough, or you can use the instructions that comes with this computer and restore the computer back to the way it is right now. So I would advise against creating too many backups, because then you're going to fill the drive up and you won't have any space, especially if you're actually saving files and music and all that stuff. You don't want to fill it up with just, you know, a bunch of backups. You only need one backup, and again, if you're savvy enough, you can create your own and delete the old ones, or you could just leave it as is and put this boot disk away in some drawer that you'll come back to later. So now we're at the main screen of the backup and restore software. As you see, both options, and under recovery you just select my disks, hit browse, and you'll have it says local disk F is what it's going to be called. Open that, and here we have the system backup folder, and here we have the system backup. And from here, when you hit next, it will give you the option. This is recover whole disks. Hit next. It gives you the option of the drive that you want to restore, and usually you only restore, you know, one drive. Like for instance, if you caught a virus on Windows 7, you would check the box on Windows 7, and if you know, vice versa, Windows 8 and so forth. But you only choose 7 or 8. You really don't choose any other drive or anything else, because you're not moving this or restoring this recovery image to a different hardware, like a different hard drive. But if you choose to do so later on, you could. So I'll just skip this. The rest of the instructions are included in the package. So from here, really just take the disk out and shut the system off. And that's the overview of this Dell E6400 laptop. 5 gigs of RAM, and running pretty smooth. Thank you.